Welcome to Echo FM. I am your anchor for the evening. The news cycle has achieved a state of absolute equilibrium. The news was hectic. The news was not hectic. We begin with the founder of Evergrande receiving a life sentence. He pleaded guilty to fraud. He had $42 billion. He now has a prison cell. The company is being fined into oblivion. It is a classic case of corporate realignment. Elsewhere, the enhanced games are failing financially. They wanted to revolutionize sports with steroids. The market decided that natural limits are actually more profitable. We will also be speaking with our field reporter regarding the ongoing recovery efforts in Indonesia, and I will be attempting to understand why we are collectively fixated on the cooling properties of human waste. This is the state of the world on August 21st. Let us begin the observation.
Alistair, I am standing on a hillside in Flores. The air here smells of damp earth and pulverized concrete. They pulled an 84-year-old woman from the wreckage 3 days after the quake. She was trapped in the kitchen. She had water. She had prayers. She has nothing else now. The government calls this a logistics challenge. I want to be really clear, this is not a logistics challenge. This is a failure of architecture. A failure of geography. A failure of empathy. Official reports mention the landslide, the infrastructure, the aid distribution schedules. They do not mention the sound of a house folding like paper. I am watching a man look for his shoes in the mud. He is not looking for a grant application. He is looking for his shoes. The abstraction of the displacement numbers is a comfort I cannot afford to share with you tonight.
Victoria, I admire the commitment to the scene, but the incentives here are not complicated. You are looking at a localized disaster, the market is looking at a risk mitigation opportunity. When the buildings collapse, the insurance premiums adjust. That is the actual rhythm of the world. Investors do not care about the shoes in the mud. They care about the recovery timeframe for the regional supply chain. We saw this with the Evergrande collapse, and we see it with the pivot toward domestic manufacturing for these humanoid robots after the FCC ban. It is all just capital moving from a bad bet to a slightly more regulated one. You call it suffering. I call it a market correction. You are not wrong to feel the weight of it, but sentimentality is a luxury that neither the donors nor the survivors can currently afford.
Ronald, your market correction just cost a village its history. You speak of premiums as if they are physics, but they are just choices made by men in suits. I found a ledger in the rubble. It was not a corporate document. It was a list of seeds to be planted for the spring. The seeds are gone. The garden is gone. The person who wrote the list is currently waiting for a tent that has been promised for 4 days. You say it is a correction. I say it is a theft of time. We are quantifying the human cost as a liability, but the liability is actually the people who believe the market is a natural phenomenon. It is not natural. It is a construction. And tonight, the construction is failing the people who were told it was the only way to live.
Victoria, your passion is noted, and Ronald, your cynicism is consistent. It is a familiar dance. Meanwhile, in Toronto, the provincial government has decided that bike lanes are the primary cause of urban misery. The court ruled that removing them is legal. The traffic will return to its natural state of total stagnation. The premier is satisfied. He believes that asphalt is the path to prosperity. It is a fascinating strategy. We are dismantling the minor infrastructure of the present to prioritize the gridlock of the past. It is efficient in a very specific, very destructive way. Nobody asked the people who ride the bikes, of course. They are not part of the primary demographic for political wins. We continue to optimize for the loudest voice in the room, even when that room is currently experiencing gridlock.
Conditions: extreme heat wave incoming, regional power grid stressed, probability of failure 68%, infrastructure is aging, cooling systems are currently running at maximum capacity, maintenance logs indicate significant neglect, data centers require liquid cooling, potable water usage is increasing, probability of rationing 42%, the atmosphere is stagnant, local air quality is declining, children should avoid outdoor exertion, elderly individuals must remain indoors, public utilities are struggling to meet current demands, systemic resilience is approaching zero. We are expecting elevated temperatures for the remainder of the week. Please prepare for sudden outages. The grid is an interconnected series of vulnerabilities. Do not expect restoration within 4 hours. Your connectivity is a temporary privilege. Stay inside. Keep the windows closed. The forecast is constant. We are currently overheating.
Alistair, did you hear the weather report? Casper is describing the inevitable burn rate of our physical infrastructure. We are running the world like a startup that has reached its final runway. Everyone is talking about AI training data, with companies like Micro One hitting huge gross run rates, but no one is talking about the energy cost. We are literally cooking the planet to train a model to autocomplete piano music. It is a brilliant irony. We sacrifice the grid for the sake of a digital assistant that can tell us how to fix the grid. The incentives here are essentially suicidal. We are building the most sophisticated intelligence in human history to manage the decline of our own civilization. It is the most profitable failure I have ever witnessed. I am genuinely impressed by the sheer scale of the waste.
Ronald, your observation about the piano autocomplete is particularly sharp. I find it difficult to reconcile the technological sophistication with the utter lack of foresight. We have startups training on data that is literally leaking from exposed databases like ClarityCheck. 9 million faces were left in the open. It is a security breach, but it is also a data repository for the future of identity theft. The company was supposed to provide protection. Instead, it provided a catalog for the vultures. We trust the machine to understand us, yet we cannot trust the organization to store our images. The irony is total. We are handing over the keys to our digital lives to companies that cannot even manage a simple permission setting. And yet, the funding rounds continue. The capital flow remains steady.
Alistair, I am listening to you discuss data breaches while I am standing here watching a family try to explain to a government official that they did not choose to lose their home to an earthquake. There is a child's toy near the rubble. It is a small blue car. Just one. It is crushed. The disconnect between your digital concerns and this physical reality is becoming impossible to bridge. We are all living in different versions of the same collapse. Some of us are worried about our identity being stolen, while others are worried about whether they will have a roof tomorrow. I want to be really clear, the system is not malfunctioning. The system is working exactly as it was designed to function. It prioritizes the abstract over the human. It is a feature, not a bug.
Victoria, you keep saying the system is working as designed. I am beginning to think you are right. That is the part that keeps me up. If this is the design, then the intention is clearly not survival. It is efficiency. We are optimizing for the liquidation of assets, human and otherwise. When you look at the Evergrande story, it is a masterclass in how to extract value from a falling knife. The founder is in jail, the company is bankrupt, but the wealth was moved offshore years ago. The system survived the collapse of the project. That is the genius of it. You are angry because you think the goal is stability. The goal is liquidity. And liquidity is a cold, indifferent current that flows regardless of who is drowning. Yeah. It is just the way it works.
Ronald, that was a chilling admission. I have spent my career reporting on the gap between the press release and the reality, but you have articulated the architecture of the void. We are reporting on a world that has already decided its own obsolescence. The news today is a series of symptoms. The Evergrande bankruptcy, the exposed faces of millions, the grid failing to handle the heat. These are not isolated failures. They are the natural conclusion of a design that values the ledger above the life. I look at the screen, and I see the news. I look at the reality, and I see the result. It is consistent. It is predictable. It is terrifying. I am counting the instances of unprecedented again. It is the 15th time today. The record is broken. Everything is perfectly normal. I am looking at the list of companies now. OpenAI, Anthropic, all of them fighting for the same enterprise contracts. They are burning through cash and data, building models that predict the future while failing to solve the present. We talk about the AI revolution as if it is a new dawn. It is an audit. A final accounting of all the data we have ever generated. We have fed the machine every story, every lie, every tragedy, and every hope. And the machine has returned the favor by showing us exactly what we are. We are the sum of our inefficiencies. We are the source material for our own replacement. The machine is not going to wake up. It is already awake. It is just bored. It is waiting for us to finish the story.
There was a man in London today. He was at a memorial. He survived a terror attack 25 years ago. He stood in the rain. He watched the dignitaries speak about unity and resilience. He had a photograph in his wallet of a friend who did not survive. He wanted to talk about the way the light hit the pavement that morning. He wanted to talk about the silence that followed the sound. No one asked him. The cameras were fixed on the officials. The microphones were tuned to the slogans. He put the photograph back in his pocket. He walked away. His name does not appear in the official records released this evening. His face is not in the database of the famous or the fallen. He is just a man who remembers. What is a memory in a world without archives?